I'm Di, and today I am bringing you a book haul. All of the books that I will be showing are books that I picked up in the month of October. Every year on the first weekend of October, my local library holds their annual Friends of the Library book sale. And the library has a pretty large selection of paperbacks to buy throughout the year, but on this particular weekend they bring out all of the hardback books that they have, and you can usually purchase them for $1 or less. And of course you can always buy the paperbacks from outside of the room that they have the special Friends of the Library sale going on in. So usually when I go to the sale, I do spend quite a bit of money. This year the funds were going to purchasing new flooring for the library, so it's a good cause. When I go to these book sales, there's usually a lot of people, and you have to be really quick about which books you pick up and put in your basket. So a lot of the time I either look for authors that I am familiar with, books in series that I've been collecting, or just something that looks interesting to me. So for most of the books that I have, I don't really know what they're about. I do like to go into books pretty blind. I'll normally look for books in the cozy mystery genre because that is a genre that I do read quite a bit. And so you'll see quite a few cozy mysteries in my haul today. So without further ado, let's get started. The first book I picked up was Stephen King's The Tommyknockers. I've been wanting to read more Stephen King lately, and I have seen the miniseries to this book several years ago, so I thought, why not pick it up and have a read. The next book I have is Naughty and Nice by Rhys Bowen. This is the 5th book in her Royal Spyness series. I do have the first one, and so I'm kind of collecting them before I start reading them. The next two are the first and second volumes of the mythical Detective Loki Ragnarok manga. This, I have no idea what it's about, but a manga for $1 is a really good deal, so I picked those up. The next one I picked up was Backstage Prince Volume 2. This is by Kanoko Sakura Koji. I am currently reading her Blackbird series. I have not read the first one of this series, but I do like her Blackbird series, so I thought I'd check this one out. The next one is Stephen King's Mr. Mercedes. I've heard a couple people on BookTube talk about this, and I thought it was interesting. Then I have If Hooks Could Kill and For Better or Worsted by Betty Hickman. This is part of the Crochet Mystery series. These are volumes 7 and 8. Then I have book 3 in the Bartimaeus trilogy, Ptolemy's Gate. I own book 1, but I do not own book 2, and now I own book 3. Then I have Angel, which is number 7 in the Maximum Ride series by James Patterson. I was able to get a copy of Maximum Ride, which is the first volume, for free as a prize for participating in the library's summer reading program. And so I haven't started that series yet, but I do want to, and so I'll be collecting those until I have enough where I feel like I'd be able to marathon the series. Then I have Stunning by Sarah Shepard. This is the 11th book in the Pretty Little Liars series. I recently saw Trina from Between Chapters read this series, and so I thought it would be interesting. I did watch the first 4 episodes of this series on ABC Family, and I'm not quite into it yet, but I thought maybe the books might be a little more interesting to me. Then I have Labyrinth, which is the first book in the Languedoc trilogy. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I believe this is a dystopian trilogy. Then I have Death's Watch, Fire and Brimstone, and Skeleton Letters by Laura Childs. These are books 6, 8, and 9 in her scrapbooking mystery series. Then I have Steeped in Evil and Ming Tea Murder, which are books 15 and 16 in Laura Childs' Tea Shop mystery series. I do have several of these, and so I hope to start that series soon. Then I have Scorched Eggs, which is book number 6 in Laura Childs' Cackleberry Club mystery series. I don't have too many of these, but I am collecting them. Then here's an example of a surprise purchase. This is Death at the Door, which is book number 24 in the Death on Demand bookstore mystery series. I had no idea which number in the series this book was, but bookstore mystery series sounded pretty interesting, so I just decided to grab it. Then I have State of Fear by Michael Crichton. This I've seen on audiobook on Scribd recently. Scribd changed the way that they do audiobooks, and so you get a credit every month to listen to an audiobook, but they also have a rotating selection of books where you can listen to for free, and this is one of the books on that rotation for the month of October. I like to have the book around when I'm listening to an audiobook, because sometimes the audiobook can be kind of slow, or I'm not getting along with the narrator, or I just want to get through the story faster because it's really grabbing me, and so I picked this one up. Then I have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I have no idea what this is about. I picked this up because it is more manageable in size than the Goldfinch, and I didn't want to jump into the Goldfinch not knowing if I got along with the author's writing style, so I thought I'd try this first. Then I have Every Trick in the Book, Books, Cooks, and Crooks, and Played by the Book by Lucy Arlington. These are books 2, 3, and 4 in her Novel Ideas mystery series. I do not own book number 1, so I need to be on the lookout for that. Then I have Honolulu by Alan Brennert. I picked this up because recently I had picked up a copy of Molokai from my local free little library, and so I saw this one and thought it would be interesting to read as well. Little known fact about me, I was born and raised in Hawaii, so the scenery for this book should be very familiar. And then the last book I picked up was White Knight by Jim Butcher. This is book number 9 in the Dresden Files series. I do own a couple books from the series, and so I'm collecting them so that I can read them through all together. And that was the last book that I picked up from the Friends of the Library sale. Then the week after that, I went to Flagstaff, Arizona for a marching band competition that my daughter's high school was participating in. They were at NAU, and so we were looking around Flagstaff's downtown area, and I came across a local used bookshop called Starlight Books. I'll insert a picture here. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen a picture of these 3 books. The first book is the Japanese Fairy Book. This is a compilation of Japanese fairy tales. The next book was Arabian Nights, which is illustrated by Maxfield Parrish. You may know that I recently read The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh, and I thought it would be nice to read the story that it was based on, so I picked this copy up. And then my favorite purchase from that trip is this bind up of Jurassic Park and the Lost World by Michael Crichton. It is very pretty. It has silver page edges and a little ribbon bookmark. I read Jurassic Park for the first time during the Booktubeathon and really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading The Lost World soon. Then this last set of books I picked up again from my library bookshop. This is why I try not to go to the library as much as possible and borrow ebooks instead of the physical copies. But I did find more books on this visit, so these are the books that I got. The first one is Deja Dead by Kathy Reichs. This is the first in the Temperance Brennan series, which the TV show Bones is based on. Then I have Lisa Jackson's Deserve to Die. This is number 6 in the To Die series. I have books 1, 3, 4, and 5, I believe, and now I have 6. I am missing book 2, so I am on the lookout for that. Then I have On Borrowed Time, which is book number 5 in the Library Lovers Mystery series. This is by Jen McKinley. I do not own any of the other books in this series, but Library Lovers Mystery sounds good. Then I have Grace Under Pressure by Julie Heisey. This is the first book in the Manor House Mystery series. I do have a couple of these books, but I was missing book number 1, so I'm glad to have this. I do own her White House Chef Mystery series, I believe it is. My mom has read all of those, but I have not read them yet, so I'm excited to get to both of these series soon. Then following my purchase from the Friends of the Library book sale at the beginning of the month, I have Steak and Eggs by Laura Childs, which is the 4th book in the Cackleberry Mystery series. Then I have The Christmas Cookie Killer and Killer Crab Cakes by Livia J. Washburn. These are books in the Fresh Baked Mystery series, which I also own a couple books in this series and I am collecting. And the last book is Double Knit Mysteries by Maggie Sefton. This includes the first book, Kill One Knit Two, and the second book, Needled to Death, in the Knitting Mystery series. I also own a couple of these, and so I will be getting to them shortly. Something you may also not know about me is that I do some yarn crafts, so crochet and knits, and so that's why these books appeal to me. And that's a wrap. Those are all the books that I picked up this month. I will hopefully not be picking up any more for the rest of the month. I do shelve all of the books that I purchase on a shelf on my Goodreads, labeled bought and whatever year I bought them in. So for the last 4 years I've been doing that. It's interesting to see how many books you acquire in a year. This year I have purchased more books than I have in the last 4 years, which I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. But most of the books I purchase do come either from my library bookstore or a used bookstore, so I don't feel too guilty about that. What books have you purchased lately? Have you read any of the books that I recently acquired? If so, let me know down in the comments below. I know I didn't give summaries of most of the books that I just hauled, but I will have links to the Goodreads pages for the books on my blog, so I'll leave a link down in the description box below to that. I hope you're all doing great, and until next time, take care and Smi-Le always. Bye.